He's a clout goblin, but I don't think he's an emotionless monster. We were talking about Tucker Carlson too. I was saying
I wouldn't say emotions. Like I said, I just think low empathy. He doesn't have empathy for other people.
These people's characters don't have empathy, in my opinion. Like their character is a guy who doesn't have empathy.
You think underneath it all? Nah, because that can't be true. If that was true, if Alex Jones had empathy for, like, say, the Sandy Hook families, he would pay them the money that they sued him for. He wouldn't be trying to hide it offshore.
I think they fucking sued him for, like, most of his net worth, right? Like,
sure.
I'm sure he would have paid them something reasonable. Like,
no.
You don't think so?
No.
I mean, it would have fucking. I guess that would have been a shot in the foot.
Anything at all.
It's a real shot in the foot to him.
By evidence of he didn't do anything at all.
Yeah. Why?
Yeah, it's a real shot in the foot to his popularity and his base, I guess, if you admit
it ruined
defeat.
him. Yeah.
Yeah. If you admit defeat too, that's even worse.
Yeah.
Because his whole thing is that, like, the deep state is out to get him, and if he gives in, then, like,
he will not make any money.
Yeah, he won't make any money.
It's true, because he's burned his bridge with normal people.
Yes.
He only has the dogs of insanity.
Yes.
Let me interrupt real quick, because that's funny that this was the topic on this new one. Because I quit my job just recently. Mm-hmm. And, I came in during a big old ice storm. And I worked at one point and forgot to clock back out. And when I brought this up to them, because I didn't have enough money to pay my bills, they were just like, too bad, so sad. We told people to mind when they clock in and out. And I was just like, well, that's fucked. Thanks for all the support for coming in during an emergency. That was very nice of you to do that. So I then tried to just transfer some vacation hours. They didn't want to do that either. They were just like, no, bitch. And I was like, okay. So after a little light Googling, come to find out it's a crime.
Yes.
Yeah.
To
not withhold
pay
wages.
People.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, withhold wages and the like. So then I brought that to HR, and then they came back with a note a little while later that said that I was going to get those hours back.
Oh, hi. What about that?
Yeah.
Turns out with the law's on your side.
Apparently, me ranting and raving and saying mean things in HR, apparently she just fucking told the director everything I said, I guess.
Oh.
So then I got written up for like 8 things the next day. And I was just like, bro.
You might want to talk to a lawyer.
I called your ass out on an alleged crime.
As long as they gave him his hours, technically they can write him up.
I think that at this point that
But he is being
quit,
punished.
right?
Yeah, I quit.
You didn't get fired?
Yeah, well,
Yeah, so
after
I don't
he
think-
said like, oh, she didn't commit a crime. And all I could think of is much like that situation. It's just like, well, bro, if I hadn't raised hell, which is what you're currently writing me up for, would you have ever given me that money
you
back?
are essentially being punished for raising hell.
Yeah, you would have never given
lawyer.
me that pittance of money back if I hadn't raised hell. And now you're writing me up for raising hell.
I don't know,
so the
maybe you
next
should.
day, I couldn't find my headphones and I quit.
Yeah. I would
I was just like, no, I'm just gonna leave.
I would definitely talk to a lawyer.
Yeah, I'd talk to a lawyer.
I think you can actually I think you got a case on
If
your
you have
hands.
like paper evidence or anything like that, I don't know.
Yeah, do you have that in an email or anything?
I've got some stuff, but
Okay.
I don't know. I don't know that it would go anywhere or that would even be worth my time in the long
That's true.
run.
Also, you have to think like he would have to fund the lawyer.
Well, a lot of lawyers in situations like this will work for free because they know that they'll get paid at the end.
Pro bono.
Yeah, if they understand that they will make money in the end, then it's like a dog bite case. Like they don't need it. They don't need your money. They'll get plenty of money when the case goes through. It's like it's a
Maybe.
surefire
I mean,
thing.
I
Here's
think,
the
I still
biggest
think in
issue,
those
though.
cases though, like I don't know, like for some reason I feel like even in those kind of situations, there's at some point you have to fund somebody.
At the end of the day, even though I'm pissed off at the leadership, suing the shelter would do more harm to the animals I do give a
True.
fuck about than it would
Eric
ever
also
do
cares about the animals.
to the administration. So,
My-
and the administration will eventually leave. They'll get fired or quit or whatever.
Will said
I mean,
something one
it's
time
whatever.
about like, oh, if you say something, then you're a problem maker. You know?
Yes.
Yeah.
And I think
they know
that
you're a problem maker now.
that
Yeah.
doesn't apply to just jobs around here. That applies to like the entire state.
Well, when you go to HR, bring up a very serious problem, the problem gets resolved, and then you get punished. Like, that's a zero
Oh, you would
trust
continue
scenario.
to get punished.
Yeah, the weird part is
I know.
what did they
said
write
that they
you up
wanted
for?
to fire me.
Yeah, what did they write you up for?
Oh, like 9 different things.
Basically
Maybe
cussing out
6.
HR.
Yeah, I guess. Like being rude. They pulled up a bunch of old stuff that they had given me verbal warnings about and just decided to write me up with that now, I guess.
Okay.
All sorts of other things.
Basically, he was covering his ass so that when they did eventually fire him, if he did go to a lawyer, it'd be like, oh, look, Judge, look at all these write-ups. He's not a good employee. We've had to write him up this many times.
The first thing that people ask in those cases, though, is, well, why didn't you fire him for those things?
It's because people aren't just signing up every day for an animal
Could
shelter.
it be because he's a good employee?
We need the employees.
Yeah, could it be
We're
because he was a
desperate.
suitable employee?
No.
They were just hunting
we're
me.
desperate.
They were just hunting me down for whatever. They were gonna.
But the point is that
they wanted to fire me, and it was very clear. They put me on probation.
I mean,
Did
maybe
they?
if a judge looks at that closely, but but that's the thing is you have to get a judge to look at it closely.
That's what your lawyer's for.
Maybe.
Yeah, that's what your lawyer's for.
It could also be like, oh look, we've written you up this many times. No judge is that. There might be an intimidation tactic.
It would be more that that you writ him up 9 times later, years later. That's no judge worth their salt or any lawyer.
It could be an intimidation tactic for Eric, though.
Yeah, I'd never been more insulted in my life, and the next day I was just like, I don't need this anymore.
You heard that here, folks. The man who gets called a Nazi weekly on at least 2 different episodes is all of a sudden more insulted than being called a Nazi.
Being called a Nazi in this environment by people who are friends is a nothing burger. It means nothing to me. Whereas, being called incompetent by incompetent people about a job that you're passionate about is deeply insulting.
I guess that's true.
Eric, did you hear this? Speaking of crazy people and assholes, did you hear this Taylor Swift conspiracy?
That she's
His
a
favorite
plug for
topic.
the G-men, and that she's trying to get us all back into traditional relationships and breeding and some other stuff.
What?
Oh, no,
not at all. Wait, hold
Yeah.
on, pause what I was saying. Where are you going?
Yeah, no, she's a plant, man.
Yeah,
she's going to get married to this football guy, all his
Yeah.
traditional values.
Do you know
and
how she's
shit.
going to get married to the football guy? Do you want me to lay it out for you?
I guess this goes with your conspiracy?
Yeah.
Okay.
So during which Super Bowl is about to be?
I fucking know.
Look it up. Look it up.
Super
Patrick,
Bowl
put it up on the
X,
screen.
X V V I I X V I I V X X V V I.
So at that Super Bowl,
I think.
when the Chiefs are rigged to win, because her boyfriend plays on the Chiefs,
Sure.
and when they win, he's gonna run to the middle of the field with the Super Bowl ring, and he is gonna go on one knee, and right there and then he's gonna propose to Taylor Swift
With the Super Bowl
yeah,
ring?
with the Super Bowl ring, because that's the biggest, baddest ring, right?
Imagine your wedding ring being the Super Bowl
And
ring.
so she's gonna come down.
It's
and
kind of corny, but admittedly, that does go hard.
That's the most
Sure.
redneck thing in the world.
I mean,
So then she's gonna come down and accept it, and the cameras are gonna zoom in, and they're gonna zoom in, and they're gonna zoom in, and it's gonna zoom in on the ring, and in the inside of the ring, it's gonna say, "Vote Joe Biden 2024."
welcome to the AnythingCast. I'm Patrick.
I'm Eric.
I'm Will.
And we're here to tell you to vote for Joe Biden.
I'm
and
just disappointed, really, more than anything
Vote for
else.
Dark Brandon.
Dark Brandon rises again.
Can we just get good choices for once?
Kira and I were...
Did you see he won South Carolina by 90%?
I'm not
Joe?
really that surprised. South Carolina's turning more blue by the year.
I mean, I guess.
That dude who tried to run as his primary candidate fucking got BTFO'd.
Me and Kira were drinking this weekend and just hanging out and talking, and she was like, all right, but out of Trump and Biden, which one do you think is a better leader? And I was like, unfortunately, I think I would have to say Trump is a better leader.
Fuck off.
He's not
Yeah.
better at unifying people.
He'll lead us
He's an
to
actual
he will
factual
lead us to
criminal.
ruin.
Yeah,
Yes.
he said he'd be a dictator for a day.
Yes, but that's not inherently that's not a bad
If
thing.
you're just asking which one probably has
No,
inherently
on
more
the
skill,
heresy
I would
of
agree
democracy.
with you.
yeah,
fuck-
autocracy is not inherently a bad thing.
It is.
It is not.
It is.
No, the leader is bad in autocracy. If the leader is good in an autocracy, then you get Alexander the Great.
No one's all the way good.
Alexander the Great wasn't a good person.
Yeah.
Sure, but he ran a good government.
No, he didn't.
he left his government.
He didn't run
famously-
any government.
literally
I know he
left them.
he
just left-
famously went to places and then basically said, "All right, you're part of my empire now, but you're still leading yourself." That's good autocrat behavior.
No, it's not.
No,
it
it's
shattered
not.
immediately upon his death.
Yeah, if he hadn't died, it would. Yeah, if he hadn't died, then it would have been great. I
As
agree with
soon
you
as he
there.
ran out of military steam
yes, I'll agree with you
and
there.
then died shortly after, His entire empire crumbled.
I agree with you there.
It existed.
He was a figurehead.
Yeah,
Yes,
like
he was.
The name Alexander was the only thing keeping that, like, hopes, dreams, and fucking,
No,
like...
You're telling me you can't think of a
bubble
single
gum and
autocrat
duct
in
tape.
history that was a good autocrat, that was a good
All right,
statesman?
listen here, Pluto.
You think Napoleon was a bad emperor?
I would say Genghis Khan.
Yes, he led all those men to their deaths.
Genghis
He
Khan.
abandoned them
Genghis
in
Khan was a good
Genghis
autocrat.
He
Khan.
abandoned them in Egypt. He abandoned them in Russia. Genghis Khan, I don't know enough about his history to say.
I mean, if you're asking
Other
for a
than he was
moral
a brutal
person,
murderer.
like, I mean, well, he was a brutal murderer if you were in his way.
And rapist.
But if you weren't, then he was
Except
an
for all those women
amazing
who
unifier
were
and protector.
not, in fact, in his way.
He was also a philosopher. He was just a bad one.
Sure.
Genghis Khan, I mean.
I mean, all I know is his empire was stable
Until he died.
until he died. Yes.
That's how autocrats work, basically. That's how it always works.
That's why it's not good.
Well, it's good while they're alive, though. And then usually, I mean, I think that my opinion of it is that governments are cyclical. Governments become democracies, and then they fall apart, become autocracies, and then they become democracies again.
Sure, that's the nature of things, I
Sure.
think.
Okay, so when
But that's-
democracies
Strong
fall
leader
and become...
comes up.
Yes.
Strong leader becomes
at that
untrustworthy.
point-
Strong leader falls.
At
We
that
go
point,
back
though,
to committees.
it's up to it's up to the public, and this is not a call for anything, since that's kind of relevant.
It's a call to action.
This is a call to action from the AnythingCast.
But as
Everyone's
like
favorite
Thomas
Will is
Jefferson
demanding people
famously
do this.
said, the tree of liberty is fed by the blood of tyrants.
I'll agree with that.
Sure.
But tyrants
So-
and autocrats are not the same thing. Literally, by definition, you're not a tyrant just by being an autocrat.
I think the Venn diagram's pretty
heavy.
pretty circular.
I think,
but,
I think the circle mixes it pretty heavily, though.
it does.
it's hard
It
to
does.
see where the other circle branches off there
Yeah.
for sure. Though I will say, strictly definition-wise, Patrick does take the W there,
Yeah.
in that an autocrat is not, by definition, necessarily 100% the exact same thing.
Speaking
as a
of
tyrant.
like,
Generally, no. Generally, autocrats, good autocrats, are those that come out of democracy and then change a country out of democracy because people lose faith in the democracy and the republic of it.
that's
well,
true.
Patrick, let's also add a layer of realism to this. Good autocrats are autocrats who kept all their skeletons.
Also,
in their
yeah,
closets.
name.
It's true. It's true. It works the other way too. Autocrats fall after they become so corrupt that people replace them with republics. But I think that government in general is cyclical in that way. So I don't think that either one of them is better than the other. I think you're just more likely to get like different things out of each one.
Strong
Sure.
leaders or bigger committees? Which one do you want?
Yeah, exactly.
Bigger committees all the way.
I'm
bigger
a committee guy
committees.
myself,
Yeah.
but I do understand that the like looking at Congress
Completely
and
transparent.
watching them fucking like
It's
you know
true, it's true.
bicker and argue and get nothing done.
Yeah.
Bigger committees
is,
means more corruption every time.
Yeah, there are pros and cons to both. But, you know, it only takes one guy getting corrupt in
there's
your
only-
system for
I
the
know,
entire
I know.
thing to go tits up.
Absolutely.
I mean, there's only corruption because we have a resource, heavy, like, get all the resources, mine mentality. If we didn't have that, there wouldn't be.
And corruption is always somewhat systemic in both, power systems and in, like, well, let's be honest, human nature.
Yeah, I was going
Like
to say,
for
it's
a-
more that there's people that is the reason
Yeah.
why we have corruptions in both systems.
But that's why we made these systems.
It's true.
Everything from communism and, the
To
lighter.
fascism.
Yeah, everything from communism to fascism and everything in between. Up and down on your authoritarian or libertarian, liberal, conservative.
spectrum.
Yeah, the whole political spectrum. At the end of the day, we're just trying to find out the best way to put a pin in all that shitty stuff we do.
Yeah, that is the human nature of trying to fix it over and over.
The one thing I will say is I think that both republics and autocracies become better as time goes on. Like, the best autocrats are probably alive right around the last 1,000 years. The best republics are about the last 1,000 years.
What was that? No, there's some book. I don't remember what it's called, but it's a book who, like, some guy made a...
The Bible.
Yeah. He made a model
Jesus.
where, like, every 4,000 years there's a massive upheaval of society.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like just something changes.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
It's Nostradamus, dude.
I don't think it's Nostradamus, but no, he's like somewhat recently.
I don't know that it's every 4,000 years, but there are definitely major shifts that happen all the time.
Well, you
not
said like there's
necessarily all
a
the time.
there's a
And
model of pattern.
there's cycles and patterns to
Yeah.
it for sure. Like looking at the cycle of empire, like what you were talking about earlier, about how you can kind of, if you look at enough really, really big empires, you can start to see them all looking the same. Mm-hmm. You know, especially in how they're structured. Like, you know, like Alexander and Genghis Khan and Napoleon, for instance. Super strong figure, fuckloads of expansionism, and then the strong charismatic figure goes, and then all that extra land just kind of fades back away.
The problem here is I think that Trump isn't a strong enough figure to be a good autocrat.
He's not beloved enough. He's
Yeah,
beloved
exactly.
enough by
Crazy people.
his people.
Yeah, his people love him so much that I
that
think
it's disturbing.
I think that he's better at leading.
He's a cult leader.
I understand that
Basically,
he
yeah.
panders to the conservative side, but I do not understand why really, really religious people like him. There is no way that man is a polite church-going gentleman.
He held a Bible upside down.
I mean, I'm sure he's gone to church, right?
I've picked
Right
up a book
after-
without looking at it before,
right after
so I'm not really going to
tear-gassing
think too much
protesters.
about that.
See, that's real autocrat behavior right there. And I bet a lot of people really like that.
I'm sure I love that. Yeah.
At least
Depends
one
on,
out of the
so
three
much
of us.
so he lost the election.
At least one out of the three of us on this podcast really loves it.
It depends on who's protesting, you see, because that's where it comes
Eric?
down to. You know, if people's political opinions are against what the protesters are for, then they watch them get tear gassed and go,
Yeah.
But if like they're fighting for something they want, then they're just like government oppression, man.
Yeah.
You know,
It's I find political theory in that way. Will talked about earlier how he likes political theory. I do like political theory in that way, where you can kind of, if you stand back far enough
you
from
see
it,
the sociology of
yeah,
it.
you see you see the way people look at it, and then there's basically a good way of looking at everything if you're looking at it through
Yeah.
the right brown
Of
shit
course,
colored lens.
Yeah, like
look
some
at
of
it
the-
this way. Do you know why I'm a socialist? Because I'm a poor fucking downtrodden boy. If
Yeah.
I was a rich, well-off fuckface, maybe I'd be a conservative dickwad.
Yeah, or if you were fucked over by the Jews your entire life, you'd be a Nazi.
Right.
You'd
so
be Kanye
like,
West.
yeah, I'd be Kanye West.
Did you see him go on a fucking rant about the Jews in that house party?
Did you see him like praise Hitler? Did you see Alex Jones try to get Kanye West to say like something bad again
Yes,
about
yeah.
Hitler, and Kanye West would not do it?
Alex just there like wiping the sweat off his brow. Holy shit.
it's like that. It was actually very interesting to see Alex Jones talk
Get
to somebody
nervous.
crazier than
Yes.
him.
Yes.
It, like,
wild.
was like, wow.
He,
Even I had to kind of at least see some of the fucking clips. I was just like, there's no fucking way.
Only a few months ago, he went to like a house party and did like a house show at like his friend's house, and he like
Oh,
played some
Lord.
songs, and then he went on a fucking tirade at the end about like how he doesn't hate Jews, he just hates the Jews that are in charge of his life and think that they can like fuck him over and threaten him constantly.
Who do you have that deal with? Who dropped him?
I don't remember.
Adias, right?
Goldberg.
No,
I think people just need to
was it
stop,
Adias?
like, you know, saying it's
Adidas.
the Jews
Yeah.
or these Jews.
Yeah.
Look,
Name names.
they're just people.
Yeah, yeah.
Listen up.
Tell me who's a shitty person. Tell me what crimes they committed.
And Eric will kill them for
I
you
mean,
for
if
money.
they need to be killed, sure, but
You're
I
home-
don't give a
Have I
fuck
ever
what
told
their
you-
race or religion
You're
is.
without employment right now. I mean, if somebody just
I
were to-
mean, hey,
it'd make you a couple of bucks. You could slide up a
I
couple
don't give a
bucks across
shit
the table.
what color you are or what you look like. None of that fucking matters.
We've already been
Do you
over this.
commit
Jews are
terrible
white
crimes? You know, do you commit terrible crimes? Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, kill them.
I don't
That's
know.
real autocrat
I
behavior,
feel
Eric.
I feel like if you're gonna be that aggressive and like oh, this is the problem in my life, you can't hide behind vague thems and theys.
I agree.
Yeah, no.
Like
it's-
if you're gonna do
labels
that,
don't work.
Yeah, name fucking names or shut the fuck up.
Now,
Yeah.
Kanye, it's not the fucking Jews. It might be these three specific Jews.
Yes.
But like,
And it's
who?
probably not them, you crazy fuck. It's you.
Dude, he fucking played like a thing at that party. Like he played a message on his phone where like his not his lawyer, the guy who signed him.
Yeah.
What is that? His producer.
Yeah.
Was like threatening to put him in a fucking mental institution.
Like, I'm
Probably
sure that
needs to
an
be.
evil rich Jew
True.
exists because plenty of rich people are evil. And
Yeah.
there's plenty of Jews that are rich just
Yeah.
because of their weird societal fucking, you know,
And they
getting
are
tossed
weird.
to the sides. You know, they got tossed to the dregs of
They
society.
dig tunnels in New York.
They were
Yeah.
the only ones allowed to, you know, do usury, where they charge interest on shit.
Teenage Mutant Ninja.
And that's just one tiny aspect of it.
Jews in the tunnels under New York, and the
gosh,
toxic waste is coming down on them, and they're like, "Oh, you got votes!" And then they like warp into
That's
monsters.
where they have their bar
I just
mitzvah.
see a lot of
Wait.
racist caricatures with like big noses and
Do
stuff.
what's their thing? They don't do bar mitzvahs, right?
Yeah, they do bar mitzvahs.
That's their thing.
Yeah,
Okay.
Bar mitzvahs and bat mitzvahs. Bar
Okay.
for-
I was
bar
afraid
for
that was
boys,
the
bots for girls.
the Spanish thing.
And then
No, that's a
quinceañera.
quinceañera.
Oh, okay.
And
Which I
then
think
there's
is just for
the-
girls.
I get those confused.
Do boys do quinceañeras? I don't think they do.
They have
That's-
their own thing, but it's not called a quinceañera.
Okay.
What is it called a bas? Do you know
You
what
mean
I'm
a
talking
bris?
about? A bris.
That's
yes.
a fucking-
Bris, that's a
Yeah, the Jews
circumcision.
have
the
that
character
too.
from New York. Boss.
Do you know what fucking happens at brisses, Will?
New York Star Wars?
It's a circumcision.
Yeah, but it's different than that. Do you know what a bris is, Will?
Some delicious barbecue.
That's a brisket.
Yeah, that's what the rabbi would say after he's done. He fries it up a little bit.
Is that where he eats the foreskin?
Yes, but it's also where like, did you know they do that in public in front of everybody else? So you're like 3 weeks old baby. You go to temple, you have a bris, and the
How
guy,
is this not child abuse?
right? That you're like,
Oh,
they don't
cut it off first.
they don't numb it or anything. The baby's like crying and like screaming, and like a guy who is basically just a rabbi and knows how to cut a penis real good takes it off, and then in some of those fucking cases, he takes it off. He sucks the penis with his mouth and takes it off with his teeth.
I don't believe that.
That's real. I will look
No.
it up right now.
Don't look it up. Did you know, in a related topic,
Yeah.
that's kind of similar with how you castrate goats?
Oh yeah, you tie it up and then.
Well, traditionally, actually, you're supposed to bite their balls off,
really?
literally.
Oh, I should preface, Eric. The putting the penis in your mouth is to suck the blood so that the blood doesn't like get real, like you don't bleed
Okay,
a lot.
I can maybe believe,
But that is
like,
why it's real.
Poor rabbis in like certain areas may have like done that or something.
But in the tradition,
Yeah,
in,
in
like,
the
a
tradition, it's a
of some
modern
sort.
tradition thing done by very, very few Jews in New York.
It's like a stupidly conservative
in that
cultish
tradition.
It's
Jews.
basically the Amish version of Jews.
Yeah, no. See,
Yeah.
like, you know, I
They're
just
the
want
ones
to make
that
it
do it.
very clear that this is not a normal Jewish practice by any stretch of the imagination.
We're not talking about radioactive tunnel Jews. we're talking about Amish wagon and horse buggy Jews.
Your average rabbi is going to use a set of tools that will look exactly like the
like how-
ones in a maternity ward where they
maternity
frequently
war. You
a maternity ward where they frequently, you know, circumcise newly born children.
Maternity war is something entirely different. It's just
Yeah,
a bunch of
that's-
pregnant women with AKs just going at it. They're fucking pissed.
that's,
You know, that was
that's
one of my
Gaza right
first-
now, man.
That was one of my first scary.
right now.
That was one of my first scary porn experiences.
Well, excuse me, explain?
Well, you know, when you first are getting into porn and then like you see all these entries and the banner ads and stuff,
Yeah.
and you go, nope, too far, need to back out. Like, you know,
Yeah, I kind of know what you
Okay.
mean. I kind of know
this
what
was
you mean.
very early days of it. You know, we had to be 6 months to a year in. I had just started to figure out how to get the goodies on the computer.
Yeah.
And I came across, I don't know if it was a banner ad or one of the actual videos or something. I feel like it was at least a GIF because it was like moving, but it was pregnant pissing women shooting machine guns. And I was just like, that is like 10 levels of fetishes too deep for me. I'm not ready for this. I am backing out now.
Nowadays,
How old were you?
I would have to guess. Internet porn I slid into very slowly at first, so I'm gonna say
I got another important question after this.
probably like 13.
What kind of machine gun? What model machine gun was
I
it?
just remember that they were assault rifles.
Was it a fucking Kalashnikov? Was it an
it was-
AR model?
I would think it was possibly both.
So Czechoslovakian, Russian pregnant women pissing and shooting AKs.
Correct.
Oh, apparently I
something to
found
that
out I have a lot of Eastern European blood.
Really?
Yeah, a lot of Eastern European ancestry.
How?
Well, I'm a goblin, man.
Yeah. Yeah, that is what they all look like. I understand. And now that I take a look at you, your
Yeah.
eyes bulging
My
like that.
goblin behavior.
Yeah. The green skin.
Seriously though, Eastern European have some of the best fucking YouTube clips.
Yeah, I mean,
They do crazy shit. They get real
Yes.
bored out there.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
love it. I love it.
And their gun laws are similar to ours. So.
I feel like Eric would really like it out there.
It's cold. I'm Swedish.
Yeah.
They like guns. I like guns.
The Swedish people
They
like guns?
vodka. I like vodka. I don't know exactly what the gun laws are there, but I know that they hunt because I've heard stories about people being lost in the woods and found by like a Swedish hunter.
Oh, yeah.
Like a bear or moose was bearing down on them, and that they actually shot with a rifle. So I don't know what the laws are, but there are Swedes in the woods with rifles hunting wild game.
Good for them.
It might be like Australia where it's just like you can have a bolt action rifle. That's it.
Speaking of the drinking and the vodka, though, do you think that Americans are too harsh on alcoholism, or do you think that Europeans are not harsh enough?
I would say Europeans are not harsh enough.
You think so?
Yeah, alcohol's a pretty devastating drug.
Yeah, it really is.
Even without it being like, even without the addiction factor, just, people getting fucked up on it and committing crimes of either negligence or, just not giving a fuck.
I'd really like to see a model of
problem all over the world. Oh,
my
burp
God.
it out. My
I
God.
almost threw up. I don't know why.
I almost threw up when I sneezed earlier.
You can take
Awful.
a break.
I want to see a model of like how many. God damn my fucking throat.
You okay?
Yeah, I'm fine.
Take a
I,
break.
I
Have
need
a
like
drink.
water or
you don't
something.
sound
Take
fine.
a drink behind you.
Is there the Diet Dr. Pepper over there? There's a Perrier.
There's an empty Perrier bottle. Thank you, Will. Thank you for the empty Perrier bottle.
Perrier because, Patrick's a fancy
Ah,
bitch.
yeah. Here, I'll drink this.
Perfect.
There you go.
Some
Some
Uh,
zit cream or something.
do you
Zit cream.
What is that? Is
Conceive
that butthole
cream.
cream? What is that? Conceive plus fertility lubricant. Okay. Okay. My first guess was going to
Why
be
did
lube.
you almost throw it?
The
at him?
way he handed it
I
back to
know,
me, he was
like
like,
he was
"Ah,
scared,
fuck
yeah.
me, God."
Well,
do
because
think
the
he, like,
outside's
he's
a little
putting
greasy.
You
So
think he's putting the tube in her?
no,
and
no,
he's
no.
squeezing it?
See,
Squeeze
what
it
you do
all.
is you get it on your hands, and then you put your hands on other things, and then you put away the
He
bottle.
washes.
That's a good fucking
It
question.
hasn't been washed yet. It's got the greasy stuff on the outside.
Question for the fucking table. What do you do what do you do with your hands after you fucking put lube on your hands? Have you ever tried to get lube off of something?
I just wipe it off on my wife's ass usually. And
On her ass? What?
Yeah, it's like lotion. It just gets in there. It just kind of
no,
slowly
it's
goes
not.
in.
Like all of a sudden now your wife's ass is slippery.
Yeah, just kind of
He didn't
rub
have to
it
worry
in,
about
you know,
it.
Just good. Give
He's
it a little
not
slap.
worried about it.
It's all good.
Rub it in.
It's his wife's ass.
I'm trying to.
It's my wife's ass. I can make my wife's ass a little slippery if I want to. That's
Sometimes I
fine.
have to like. I
With her
just.
consent, Eric.
Like,
with her
I mean,
consent.
if
Like,
I
no,
don't,
hell no, fuck that. She's
if I don't
rubbing
want
it
to,
without
I'll
consent.
find a cloth or a paper towel and just wipe my hand off. you know.
I'm thinking like I have to put my hand on the covers every time. I just like grab the covers, and, like wipe my hand on the
Yeah,
covers. real
sometimes
quick.
I'll do that if I'm feeling lazy.
Yeah, Will, what do you do after you put lube on your dick? What do you do, Will?
Well, there's not usually a woman in the room after he puts lube on his dick, so
Just jack off. What do you mean?
I continue applying it until more lube comes out the front of my
I
penis.
jack off till it's like raw and hard, and I get some more lube and keep going.
Yeah.
When's the last time you jacked off until you were raw? God, that's such a terrible feeling. It's like that's when you know
Have you ever
you're
jacked
like,
off
you're
so
like,
much
oh,
you
I'm
started
sad.
bleeding?
My wife is
Yes,
going to be
once.
Yeah, never again.
Yeah, seriously.
I think I just got chafed. I don't think it ever actually
Yeah.
bled, but it like visibly chafed.
Yeah, where it's like red. That's what I mean. But
That was the
like,
Yeah,
early
yeah.
days of my like masturbation, so I was like fucking flipping
that was
pillows and stuff.
pissing pregnant ladies
So-
with AK territory.
I basically gave my dick carpet burn.
Yeah, right. Yeah,
By like,
Indian rug burn.
no, thank God.
How much would you have to get paid to get the Indian rub on your dick?
Ooh, a bit.
Do I get it from you? Your people perfected that technology.
Yeah.
I trust you to do it. I don't know.
That also means he's gonna do it perfectly, and it's gonna hurt like shit.
Yeah, but I trust him to be able to do it quickly.
Ooh, no. What would you rather? Indian burn your dick or eraser burn your dick?
Oh my God. Indian burn. At least that's hands.
I think I go Indian.
Yeah, I'm actually
Indian
kind of
burn
feeling
too.
Indian burn too. To be completely
How long do you
honest.
think you could hold a boner to be
Ugh,
given?
I
Who
don't
said you
know.
had to have a boner?
All right.
I guess with the eraser.
Here's
I
the
mean,
real question. Okay,
Oh, you just
you get
flatten
the
it out,
eraser
press it against
burn.
the table and just
You get the eraser burn, but you get $1,000 for every second you can hold your penis there. How long do you think
For
you can
every
hold it?
second?
Yes.
Okay, eraser. Like, is it like the back of a pencil? Or is it like a thumb eraser that you hold? Like the big
I
eraser?
don't know which.
big
I feel like
eraser.
a pencil would hurt more.
Yeah, me
let's
too.
go pencil.
Okay, so pencil, and they're just going fucking hog
Yeah,
wild.
they're as hard as they can.
Ugh.
How many say?
That's
Yeah,
gonna take the skin away like immediately.
Yeah,
Probably.
it wouldn't last too long.
I'm thinking 5
You could
seconds.
literally erase your way through my penis after a little while.
I say 5. I'm thinking realistically 3.
Especially if you're thinking of it in like terms of.
Eric's standing up to show a diagram.
Pulling out his penis.
He's pulling out his penis. He's putting it on the table.
Yeah.
And like, rubbing it out like that because you would be flattening it against the surface. You might have a little bit of a better chance if it was erect. Good luck
Nice
holding,
job, Eric.
Good luck holding an erection through that kind of abuse, unless that's something you're already doing.
Well,
Okay,
I mean,
but would
erection
your-
aside,
would your
like,
sk-
you're
if I'm
gonna
not
pull
erect,
away.
Ooh, they could drug you first.
If I'm not
No,
erect,
they're not going to
though-
drug you.
No, drug you not like to make it more comfortable, to give you an erection.
Oh,
That way you
no,
can't
I don't
not
think
have
holding.
it.
Oh, I
no,
see
no,
what you
no, no,
mean.
no,
Yeah,
hold on,
yeah.
hold on.
Yeah.
You're not lasting more than a few seconds. The holding the erection is not going to be a problem.
I'm saying I think holding the erection is important
Oh,
here.
you mean the erection won't need
Yes.
to last long enough to matter by the
Yes,
time
you're
you
going
give
to
into the
pull
pain?
away. You're going to pull away.
Your penis won't have time to deflate before
Yes.
you pull away, is what
Yes.
you're saying.
That
I'm
is what I'm
assuming
saying.
I'm assuming I'm cuffed
Okay.
down to a chair. Like there's no pulling
No.
away. There's no going anywhere.
No, they stop the moment you pull away.
Oh, okay.
Ooh, so no flinching, in other
Yeah,
words.
no flinching.
Yeah.
Don't be a
How
bitch.
how long can you get your penis eraser burned before you flinch?
Okay,
Ooh.
I'm gonna keep bringing it up because I think it's an important factor here. If my dick was flaccid and you started going at it with an eraser, the skin's gonna wipe back and forth.
Okay, but like
I've got enough loose, saggy
okay,
skin
so
on there.
I guess the question has to be asked:
Yeah.
Are you doing it? Are you get to choose flaccid or hard?
I can last longer flaccid, is what I'm telling you. I promise you. I can last a
Ooh,
little
are you
bit longer
sure?
flaccid. Yes, because if it's
true, the
tight,
dick's not gonna.
I'm not sure,
The
man.
skin's loose.
yeah, if the skin's loose,
But if they're
then-
like pressing through it, like, it's gonna like also press all the stuff
What
in
do
your
you
penis.
get hard?
Like,
you learned something about yourself that day.
I'm
You're
imagining,
goddamn.
like, in order to do that, they're gonna have to like press your penis flat against the table and then like, erase into
I'm
it.
assuming they've got it in some sort of like plastic contraption that has a little bit of an opening or something.
Hold on,
so
but you
they
got to
can
think
just-
about this
needs to
as
have a
the
hard
average person.
background.
You've got
Yeah,
a pretty
something
big
hard
flaccid
beneath
penis.
it.
Like the average person has like a 2 to 3 inch flaccid penis.
That's why I'm saying they're
That is
like,
the world's average.
they're literally stretching it out and pulling it out over a table, essentially.
Yeah, if you stretch my
Like-
penis out, it comes out to like 7-8 inches. Mm-hmm. So 2 to 3, like we're assuming that, like, is it a cold day? Like,
We're assuming they can pull it out, like,
We're
without
being
too much
polite.
issue.
This is your best chance. We're giving
Okay.
you your best chance.
So you're at your best.
I
Yeah.
still want it to be flaccid. I think I still
What
want
about
it to be
you? Are you
flaccid.
choosing hard or flaccid? I'm going hard. I think I'd
I feel
last
hard
longer
too.
hard.
I feel like hard is actually going to be easier than flaccid.
If
'cause
they
I feel
press
like-
into it when it's flaccid, all the meat, all
They're
the
not gonna
muscle
press
might
that
like
hard.
slide to the
That's gonna
side.
They're not. No, they're not. You guys, they're
They're
not
gonna,
going to
like-
press that hard. They have to
they're gonna
give you the
hold it
eraser
taut.
burn.
Like, so that they can,
they're not pressing like really hard against
They
it.
have to give you the eraser burn.
I
they're
can
gonna
last
have
so
to-
much longer now.
They're going to have to
gonna
hold
get
your
eraser
penis skin
burn.
taut.
Yeah, that's
Like,
what I'm thinking.
that's
They have to
like,
hold
you know,
it taut,
and then,
right?
like,
Sure, but
you
like
know-
you're still going to flinch.
Oh, dude, I'm gonna scream. Fuck flinching. I'm gonna
Okay,
scream
hold on.
like a
You can
bitch.
scream through it, but I guarantee you will flinch at some point. And the question is, how many seconds will you last before you flinch?
I think the big thing here is I will start punching first. Like,
Okay,
can,
but
am
as
I
long
like in
as
a
that-
box?
As soon as you
to-
punch, you're the
Yeah. Is that
that's off.
flinching?
You
Yes.
start
Is that
getting-
flinching?
Yes, because that's
duh.
a reaction.
Okay,
You can't
I'm gonna
physically
react
react.
almost
You
immediately.
can scream. Screaming's allowed.
You have to keep
3
your waist.
seconds.
You have to keep your waist still and not interrupt with them doing it.
Yeah, you can, but you can
that,
scream.
dude.
You can scream.
My immediate reaction is
You
going
can
to
cuss him.
scream and start fucking
You can
punching.
cuss whoever it is.
Well, yeah. I mean, if my dick starts getting mutilated by a stranger, I'm gonna just attack.
Who said it was a stranger?
It doesn't matter. If my dick
It
starts
does
getting
matter.
mutilated by
Okay, yeah,
anyone,
that does
I'm
matter.
probably gonna attack them.
Hold on. That doesn't matter. That changes the game a little bit. If it was Kira,
Yeah.
and the goal was like you and her would each get $2,000 for every second.
Oh, she'd fuck it up like she does
But-
everything sexual. She wouldn't be able to fucking do that, right?
Well, it's not sexual.
Yeah,
And maybe not for you.
if the goal was to make you come, maybe she wouldn't be able to do it. But since the only goal is to like hurt your penis, maybe this is right up her alley.
God damn it, you're right.
Her trauma might come in and really help with this
Yeah,
situation.
yeah. I don't know. She'd fuck it up somehow. She'd find some
Beat
way
the
to fuck
shit
it
out
up.
of my penis with this pencil eraser.
Okay,
and then
but do you
we'll
think
get
you would
rich.
last longer with a significant other over like a stranger?
I think the stranger would be a lot more like rigid with their like holding of the pencil.
No, like let's say the technique is the same. The only difference is it's a stranger versus like a significant other.
I think I could zen out real hard if it was a significant other for some reason.
Okay.
I think I could last longer. Yeah.
I feel like it would
Okay.
be crueler to make it my significant other. That would just
What
make
if
it
it was
all kind
let's
of
just
worse.
assume it's all consensual. Like, do you think you'd last longer or not?
Okay.
Just assume it's all. This is what you want to happen.
Would I rather
Well,
have
I mean,
my,
you're getting.
You
I mean,
dream
well,
of such
I
a
mean,
scenario.
well, we're
I
getting
know.
I
into
guess it
weird
wouldn't
territory,
matter
but you're
if-
being paid, so
It wouldn't matter if you could somehow ensure that they would both be doing it just as hard.
Sure.
But like I would imagine that my wife would be quicker to go easy on me, and it would make it ever so slightly easier to win the more money.
They've got to be
Okay.
holding down a
true.
button.
But
they
I
can't be
mean-
doing it with their own hand. They just have
It's
to
a
hold down a button and a
machine.
machine
Well,
does
okay,
it.
Okay, so
sure.
like, you know, so then if that's the
Damn
case, it
AI.
wouldn't matter if it was my wife or not. And I
Yeah.
would rather, you know, my wife not have to participate in the mutilation of my dick.
This goes back to the would you fuck your mom or your girlfriend if they swap bodies to get them to swap back.
I feel like this is slightly different from
It's
that.
not very. All right, fine. Would you prefer it be your girlfriend or your significant other or your mother that does this to you? You don't get neither of them. It has to be one or the other. One of them gets to rub your dick.
what makes the girlfriend and significant other different?
One of them brought you into this world and loves you unconditionally.
No,
the
that's
other one
mother.
might
I
not.
asked
mother.
girlfriend and
Oh
significant
yeah,
other.
they might have some like resentment for you, you know, deep down. So you know they might.
So wait, let's say girlfriend, wife,
Yes,
um,
mother.
you know, or mother.
Yeah, I
Okay.
definitely
So-
wouldn't want it to be my mom. I don't know. I don't know why.
Yeah.
Girlfriend,
I mean, I
definitely.
guess I
Just-
would-
Nah. Maybe
No.
I think wife is your best bet.
I would go with the closest one in that case. Yeah, just because it would stay between us.
Oh yeah, as
now,
long as you have a good
I
marriage, you're
guess.
okay.
Yeah. As long
yeah.
as you're properly communicating with your significant other, then you can make it through a lot.
Would you have to wear condoms for the rest of
Anything,
your
I
life?
Why?
You just have to heal up. I mean,
God.
a little bit of skin
Ah.
graft. A little bit of skin
That
graft.
soft flesh heals right back up.
Yeah, it's
It's
spongy.
designed to get beat up a little bit.
I don't like thinking about it. You know you can break your dick.
Yes.
Yes.
I've known someone
Ah.
who did.
You what?
I knew someone who did.
How?
I didn't know him very well. He was
She,
fucking somebody doggy style.
She twisted her hips and boom, it was broke.
No, I thought you were saying
he
it was a
doing
girl
her
with a
doggy
dick.
style, and he got all the way out and jammed it right into the taint and popped. It was
God
unpleasant
damn.
for both of them, but he definitely got the slightly worse one.
How tiny was his dick?
I have no idea. Didn't actually know the guy very well.
Okay.
It was
I feel like that's a
brother's
tiny dick problem,
girlfriend's
you know?
sister's boyfriend.
Oh, okay.
I
good.
had met him. I had been in the same
wonder what the
building as him
recovery's
several
like.
times.
How tiny's your dick?
Pretty medium. It's respectable. It's basically no advantages, no disadvantages. So if she don't get there, it is 100% my fault, and I have no excuses. And I mean, I'm not going to impress anybody. I'm also not going to scare them away.
Yeah. Okay.
Honestly, I think I've been dealt a fair hand.
What are you doing? A press conference? You know, I don't think I'll make it very.
The presidential debate, just Mr.
I was thinking like a
Patrick
draft.
played that.
I don't think I'll make it very far in the draft. Probably middle of the pack. If I'm lucky, I'll get a good team.
Yeah. That's my penis.
Yeah. Everybody
It's
applauds.
respectable. It's respectable. I've done some good work with it.
Yeah. Everybody. It's just a group of rednecks out in the crowd applauding, just so excited.
But again, the tool isn't quite as important as the communication aspect. 'cause
I understand,
You
yeah.
can get around a lot.
The emotional connection.
Yeah.
I'm now imagining a presidential
Well,
debate.
no, not just the emotional connection. I'm talking about the deed itself. Communicating, asking what you want. You know, getting hands in there, getting tongues in there. You know,
I understand. I
getting
understand.
everything going.
What do you think
know.
Trump would say if somebody asked him how big his penis was?
He would say it's 10
8
feet
inches.
long and made of solid gold.
As long as his big red tie.
Do you legitimately think that he would? Do you think he would like lie
Yes.
and like say it's huge?
Well,
Of course he would.
He's a known.
That's
what-
just such a like.
He's a liar.
No,
what's
I mean
the
it's
word?
just that
I mean,
it's
all politicians are, but he's conniving.
Nah.
Machiavellian.
Nah, what's the
No,
word where you lie
you're giving
all
him
the
too much
time, no
credit.
matter what? Like you have a mental
Compulsive.
problem.
Oh,
Yeah,
a compulsive liar.
he's a compulsive liar and a proven compulsive liar.
Do you think that it would be? Do you think that he would have a moment of clarity where he's like, You know, it would probably actually
My
do me
dick
some
is
good.
3 inches.
Huh.
It's a very mediocre
I
penis.
believe
It's
that.
the most mediocre penis you've ever seen. Would you gain?
Bro, 3 inches is not mediocre.
Would you
You're well below average. I mean, if you're talking just
You are
a
2
flaccid,
inches below average.
This is Joe talking to him on the otother side
just
of the
talking
podium.
about a flaccid, like, you know, that has some variance.
Everyone
but
knows that
like, if it peaks
5
at
inches
3,
is average. I don't know Joe very well. I don't have a good
That's
Joe
not Joe.
accent.
That was more
that
Trump.
sounded like Trump.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's Joe?
Joe's like,
Joe
come on,
sounds more like
listen here,
this.
Jack. Listen here. A 5-inch penis is a very
Sound
normal
more
penis.
tired.
Okay, Joe does not have a
5-inch.
southern accent though.
He doesn't have a
He's
southern
got
accent.
like a
He's
very
just got
very
Clinton for
light
some reason.
northern
I can do Clinton
city
really
accent.
well. It's listen here, Jack.
He's like
We had a boy.
Joe Rogan speaks like someone from Boston who went to school and paid attention. He doesn't have a strong like, you know, northern city accent of any kind.
Nick
but,
Mullen
like,
does
I
that thing
think
where he just
that's-
says victory over and over again, the way that Biden does to get into a victory. Victory. Listen here, Jack. Listen here. A 5-inch penis is a very normal size.
Nah, you gotta slur more, I think.
Yeah, you got to sound more tired.
Yep.
It's you got to slow it down.
It's just like what
Victory.
Lewis
You need to
Black
stop
said.
like completing your words. You need to forget.
His
you need to
sentences.
forget.
You need to stop
forget your words like halfway through.
This is literally the same shit that Lewis Black said back in like 2005. You got the Republicans, who are a party of bad ideas, and then you have the Democrats, which is a party of no ideas.
It's
And that
neoliberalism.
is like our next presidential election in a nutshell.
I'm just
Do
saying,
you want
if-
a bad man or a man riddled with dementia?
If President,
I don't know.
if
Both
former
riddled with
President
dementia.
Trump,
They're both just bad.
if former President Trump went up on a
want
stage
any
during a
of them.
Trump get
debate
away
and then
with
said that
did
he had
not
a
pass
I don't want
shit.
any of them.
if he said he had a moderate-sized penis, and for once he did not lie and exaggerate the size of his own penis, would you gain trust in him? If he
I
said
would
he had,
lose all faith in the political system that penis size was actually publicized. I think I would.
that's a much more fair. It's a much more. Fair
Yeah.
option. You'd
No.
be like, well,
the results of
we had a
the
literal dick measuring
results wouldn't
contest on
matter.
television.
yeah no the results would not matter to me. I would be like, no, the very fact that my president's penis size is being brought up at all is just kind of like outside of a forum like this.
Yeah.
Like I would finally consider suicide.
If it was verified,
I have
Hey,
never considered
breaking
suicide. I have
news.
no suicidal
breaking
ideation.
news.
Yeah.
Oh.
Doot, 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 doot. You remember that
Spill
guy
that
from?
tea. Spill that tea. Will's gonna spill that tea all over me.
There we go.
Yeah.
Do it again, Patrick. So apparently, you remember Cillian Murphy, the guy from the 28 Days Later zombie movie?
yes, he's like the hottest guy in Hollywood. I love him. What about him?
The main character, little
he-
skinny
guy in
dude.
Oppenheimer.
He didn't know he was doing a zombie movie.
Really?
When he did
And
28
he's-
Days Later.
He said he's up for a sequel.
What? There is a sequel to 28 Days Later.
Yeah.
What's that called?
28 weeks later.
Oh yeah, he said he's up to
There's also a 28 months later.
Yeah.
So-
There's
He
three.
seems confused.
There's 3 movies.
He seems
He
confused.
seems a little confused.
He's
Someone
hot
should go-
enough where he can get away with it.
Someone should go check up on Cillian. I keep on
What, did he
calling him
get-
Civilian Murphy.
Civilian murder.
Someone could check up on Cillian
Did my boy
Murphy.
get like Frankie Muniz? Does he know where he is right now?
What?
like,
Civilian Murphy is a World War II propaganda poster. that's who Civilian Murphy
he said,
is.
I wasn't too
Yeah.
aware we were making a zombie movie, to be honest with you. Murphy noted, adding he hadn't seen any of George A. Romono's Night of the Living Dead
Romero.
series.
not
Did
Ramona.
you say Ramono? George A. Ramono.
It was
Patrick, put up a picture of George A. Ramono.
it was right around the time SARS happened, and there was all the air
Use
air
that
raid
AI
stuff
thing to
going
combine
on.
George Romero
So I
with
never
Ramona
felt-
Flowers.
I never
Thank
felt it
you.
was a zombie film, and I'm glad I didn't watch the Romero
He's got to make sure he gets it right.
movies because I didn't realize how hollowed those movies were.
Oh, shots
Really?
fired.
I watched.
I think he means hallowed as in respected, like hallowed ground.
hallowed, not hollowed. Hallowed.
Yeah, hallowed.
Mississippi education, folks.
Patrick and Eric teach Will how to read.
There's the name of the episode right there.
Don't worry. We'll teach you how to pronounce the English words. And then we can stop pronouncing all those barbarian words like Pontotoc and Mississippi.
Read.
We'll re-educate you properly, and then you'll
Read,
fit
Will.
into society better, Will.
They called me savage, barely even human.
Will, what's 31
I
divided by
wonder
7?
if he even bleeds. It's all coming
Three.
from...
Three is 3.
3?
Because 5 times 7 is 35.
Sorry, I'm just
pretty
still
good.
tickled that I had to be told that you had any Native American blood. I would just be like, I don't fucking know what he is.
He's brown.
He looks white.
gross.
Apparently I'm
Ugh.
Eastern
I don't know.
European.
I would have just assumed that he was some sort of European.
Yeah, I mean, he looks like you could
Looks like-
you could
you
even
look-
pass for like Pakistani, to be perfectly honest with you. Yeah,
It,
that
like-
Pakistani beige.
apparently I am racial ambiguous.
racially
racially
ambiguous. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yep, you are a little bit racially ambiguous.
I'm a new human, man.
And Eric
Do you
is
remember-
racially
you remember
charged.
Those photos of like scientists are like this is what humans will look like once basically everyone interbreeds.
Yeah, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I wish that had
That's
come out
me.
with people looking gray, because that would have been cool. Like, oh, they've like got
Why?
fucking like.
Why would any combination of current humans be gray?
Yeah,
Because then it would be
you
aliens,
stupid
dude.
Fucking idiot.
We'd look like aliens.
But
You don't want to
dumb,
look like aliens.
stupid idiot.
We
What-
already look like
what
aliens.
alien?
I definitely look
Stupid.
like an alien. You look like
What
an alien.
aliens? What does an alien look like?
You look like a fucking.
What does
We're
an alien-
racist.
No. What does an alien look like?
He looks Mexican.
Tell me
The
what an
illegal
alien
aliens.
looks like. That looks kind of like him.
Yeah, they look a little bit like him. You're right. He does kind of look like an alien.
And to be fair, Mexicans are more Native American than
Again,
your
not
average
true.
American.
More Americans cross into Mexico than Mexicans cross into America.
No,
I wonder if
I was just
illegally
saying
or not.
Mexicans are more Native American than most Americans because that's
Yeah, we killed
mostly
all
the
of
old-
them.
Oh no, they all integrated.
That's true. They all live in their
That's
own
not
little
true.
countries.
They have, I was about to say, they're their own nations.
Yeah, I mean some of them are.
Yeah, there's a Cherokee nation in in Mississippi.
Yeah, but like Mexicans are
Yeah, they're
by
like
blood
Aztec. They're
part
the ones
of
that got
the
really
ancient
mixed.
Maya and Aztec civilizations.
Yeah,
and
they got
stuff.
real mixed with that and the Spanish.
There are still people who speak Maya.
Did you
really
guys
are
see
there?
that,
I didn't know that until I visited the pyramids, but yeah, there's
That's
still a
fucking
lot
cool.
of places in
Imagine
Mexico where they
speaking
speak
Mayan.
Maya.
I thought Mayan was a dead language.
Nope, speak it all the time.
That's fucking cool, dude.
I
you
mean, unless
guys,
I was being
uh,
very viciously lied to, but I mean, that seemed like an odd, very bold thing to lie about.
See, watch me lie to this gringo.
See it.
You hear me talking to my homeboy? We
I told
talking
him-
Mayan, man. We
I thought,
talking
ooga
Mayan.
booga boo la 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 la. That's the kind of fruit they eat. Yeah.
Just laughing and drinking Corona. Giant sombreros.
Did you guys see that California is
And then they
fucking
traffic drugs across the
getting
border
Noah Ark?
to rape American women and
Drown
steal
in a
American
river.
jobs.
Drown in a river on the way there.
Yeah, sorry.
I'm sorry, what were you
saying,
saying,
Did you
Will?
guys see that California is being the wrath of God is falling upon them?
California?
It's being
Yeah, it's
flooded.
happening
They're
most of the
drowning.
time.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
It's finally happening, huh?
Tool wrote a song
They're being
about
Noah
that.
Arked, yeah.
Oh well,
Tool wrote a
just
song about that.
California.
I'm glad.
we're not going to lose much.
I'm glad it's finally happening.
Once the floods recede, we'll go back and reclaim the farmlands, the people we lost along the way. Outside of all
They're
those,
Atlanteans
outside
now.
of all those innocent Mexican farmers, I mean, we're not going to really lose much.
Did you guys ever listen to that song? The Tool song where he says "Learn to Swim." Yeah, that's a great song. You should really look that up. He got attacked on stage one time while singing it and got in a fist fight with a guy.
Nice.
And they put him in a judo lock, and then until security came up on stage and got him. He also one time was singing. He just goes, "Learn to swim, learn to swim, learn to swim." And then in the middle of it, he just changed it to "Gotta piss, gotta piss, gotta piss." And then
And they walked off stage. And
yeah,
pissed.
because there's like a drum solo like right after that, and he just immediately walked off stage, and then the drum solo went like really long, so that they could give him time to piss.
Nice.
Yeah, I love that band.
I
Their
respect them, but I've never really been all that into them.
their fan base is like the worst in the world.
Yeah,
that's
their
a good
fan
point.
base is weird.
Who does have the worst fan base?
Taylor Swift.
I don't know.
Next question.
Sonic.
Donald
Sonic the Hedgehog.
Trump.
Joe Biden.
Yeah.
DC and Marvel.
Bernie.
If anyone actually
Oh,
stands,
DC and
everyone
Marvel.
who actually stands Joe and Dawn, yes.
Yeah.
Honestly, anyone who's that like gung-ho and thinks that they can do no wrong or anything like that.
Standing
It's
anyone is kind of a terrible idea.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah,
I
that's
mean,
real autocrat behavior. We've been over that.
the minute you start like, putting someone else on a pedestal and not seeing them as human anymore, it's almost as bad as when you take people off of the pedestal and stop treating them like they're humans anymore.
I like Will's
know,
question though. What has the worst fan base between Marvel and DC? That's a real question.
I gotta
I
say,
don't know. Marvel's is bigger, and more
fatter.
successful.
I don't know. I feel like DC fans
and I think
are
younger.
more assholey.
I think because Marvel's a lot more acceptable. So yeah, I would say DC fans tend to be more bitter and
I feel like they have a lot of actually things about them. Mm-hmm. Where like Marvel's a bit more chill.
DC fans are definitely more stupid.
Marvel fans aren't really like super duper
You're gonna
butthurt
get
about things being.
ratioed by DC fans.
I'm just saying that. Think of the DC stories that you know. There's like 2 of them that are good. Like that's just how
there's more than 2. Come on.
compared to Marvel.
Yeah,
There's
compared to Marvel.
Batman,
I will say I think I like the
And
Marvel heroes more.
Batman.
No, Superman's
and-
good. Fuck off.
No,
Yes.
fuck you, Green
Oh,
Lantern.
I like the
Oh, no, wait,
Sandman. I like the Sandman show. That was really fun.
Aquaman.
The-
Wonder Woman?
The Amazon, not Amazon, but Audible. The Audible books for Sandman.
but, like,
listen to those.
definitely-
They're fully casted with sound effects. They're great.
Oh, that's
Definitely,
cool.
you got Batman, Superman, the best DC known stuff.
But that doesn't make Superman good, and it doesn't make Superman fans smart.
Doesn't make them dumb inherently, but yeah.
Yes, it does, Eric. Yes, it does. Imagine liking Superman like a completely infallible paragon character.
It's okay. He's like
You're allowed to like him.
No,
I don't hate him. I just think that you have to be very clever and very dedicated to write a compelling Superman story.
To be honest, you have to be compelling and good at writing to write any of their stories.
Correct, but
Yeah.
like his character has to be treated very specifically in order to get an interesting story out of it.
That's a good
because-
question. Who is the hardest DC character to write for? It's not Superman. I mean, just
No.
like you can write. I mean, just write fucking something that people will actually buy.
Oh, nowadays I would say
Green
Wonder
Arrow?
Woman,
Wonder Woman.
because that whole area is such a minefield.
Starfire's
Of,
DC, right?
Yeah.
Did you see the Starfire comic book that's got her daughter in it?
Yes.
Yeah, Blackfire.
Yes.
No, Blackfire's her sister.
No, it's her fat little dumpy daughter who's
dumpy daughter.
who's like not really into like fun or socializing
that's
or
like-
anything that like Starfire's into.
I thought they retconned that. That was like a self-insert shit.
I
Oh,
think
God,
that was like an Elseworld thing. It was like a one-off.
Yes, it was, and it
Yeah.
it was a one-off because it got
Sucked.
Yeah, it got
Yeah.
garnered the vitriol of the internet
Yeah,
overnight.
I think I read it. It sucked hard.
I read it too. It wasn't that great.
No, it was bad as a comic.
Pretty bad.
Yeah. I
Like
think
even
it was,
taking like the political stuff aside, it was just bad as a comic.
it was like a 4 out of 10 without any added context.
Well,
basically.
Eric said the Sandman books are pretty good.
They're great on Audible. They
yeah.
got a full cast. They got that McAvoy guy who was playing Professor
Macklemore.
X.
Macklemore. You're thinking of Macklemore.
They've got they just got a bunch of great actors.
I was going to ask what's the best comic you guys have read or like, comic adjacent book. I was going to say Blast. I read Blast.
I'm very tainted
really
right
good.
now because I'm deep in Spider-Man history.
Spider-Man history.
Yeah, dude, I'm back in the 60s right now. I'm on issue like 63, I think. And man, like Doc Ock just came back, and let me tell you, I am sick of the 60s. I cannot wait till we get a
Are you reading these?
Yeah.
Really? You're
Yes.
reading the old Spider-Man comics.
Because like the problem is, like here's the issue I have with all comics ever.
they're serialized.
Modern comics rely on you knowing a little bit of history of the characters. Like if you want to get into modern Batman, they expect you to know
Death in the Family.
his most famous stories.
Yeah, Death in the Family and the Killing Joke.
Yeah,
Bane broke his
and a few
back
other.
once.
Bane breaks because of comics and how fluid they are. Nothing is truly canon, yet certain events are. So Batman will always get his back broken by Bane, but instead of Dick.
That's a Spider-Man thing, dude. Canon events.
Yeah, canon
Hell
events.
yeah, dude. Yeah,
so
nice.
like, sometimes Dick will take over being the new Batman. Sometimes it's some fucking guy from England.
I thought you were just gonna start off with Dick takes over.
Yeah.
That's my life in a nutshell, bro.
So like
That's actually the
Jason
title
Todd
of his
always,
newest autobiography. Dick takes over.
Yeah, Jason Todd always gets murdered by the Joker.
He always gets resurrected.
Stuff like that happens. But like, but the writers can, change things.
Is Batman Beyond a canon
Called
event yet?
retconning.
Beyond, I think so.
Or retconning,
yeah.
not repcon. Retcon.
Or revamp. I don't know. Like
No,
they can,
retconning, retroactive continuity.
Oh yeah. Retcon. But yeah. Batman Beyond I think is fairly canonized.
It deserves it. Batman Beyond had like a cool art style.
Oh, it got its
did.
own
It's badass.
comic run after the fact.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
They
I'm
continued
glad.
it. It got more than just that.
I mean, it got a TV show.
Well, it got its own TV show. That's where it started. Like, it didn't start from a comic. It got its TV show first. And then the TV show spawned a comic, and now they're allowing him to be in the bigger canon. And do you remember that Justice League episode where
Yeah,
they
dude, I
were
do.
like fucking with timelines
Crossed
and
over.
dimensions?
Fuck, that was cool.
Oh my god, that was so cool.
That was the most badass thing.
Yeah,
Real
'cause-
quick, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say because, again, because I think I mentioned this in the other episode or something, but you had fucking Terry McGinnis, Batman Beyond with
Older
like
Static
old
Shock.
Static
Yeah,
Shock,
yeah.
and they were coming in, and then another one of my favorites from that little like 3-episode arc or whatever is where John Stewart, Green Lantern, is like walking, and they're all talking. It's like, we don't know when there's going to be some other like shift, and the dimensions are just going to hop on us, and it'll be crazy. We don't know what'll happen next. And then John Stewart just goes, "Brr," and then turns into white Green Lantern. Everyone just stops and stares at him. He goes, "Oh, don't worry, guys. I've been briefed. I know what's going on." It's just like, it's cool. Let's just keep moving
Let's just
forward.
do the thing.
No, my name's not John. It's Hal. That's it. Let's just keep moving. Like, that's all you need to know.
I am the
DC
left
movies
wing
are
now.
a real grab bag, huh?
The animated movies are
The
actually
animated
pretty good.
movies have been consistently high quality.
That's
Which
what I'm
has
saying,
changed
they're a
now
real
because
grab bag.
they've changed the guy who's making them.
Are they about to dip or continue being high?
I don't know, but probably dip.
Yeah, let's be honest.
On the topic of Spider-Man in the 60s, God, the main problem is the dialogue. And it's all...
I'll get you yet, Spider-Man. It is the 60s, forsooth.
Yeah.
Good golly, Jonah Jameson's publishing another article on Spider-Man.
Yeah, it's just constant barrage of that. It just gets so tiring.
Well, I mean, you could do the modern day thing where they're just cursing and talking about like their gay lovers repeatedly. I mean, they could
wish.
just. I mean, like both of them are bad. It's just that like
And
the
like,
90s
the
were the
other problem-
perfect era, and they had all of the good dialogue.
The other problem is like there's no
yeah.
no continuing storylines at the moment. Like there's
yeah, they're all
very
episodic.
little. Yeah, there's very little through lines. Like for example, Peter's. So Uncle Ben was not a thing in the very beginning. By the way, he was a flashback until like 50 comics in.
Oh, did
Yeah.
you get to the Punisher yet?
No, not yet.
Damn.
That won't happen until they revamp him in the 80s.
I've heard that that's like where Spider-Man got good. It
Maybe.
was like right around where the Punisher showed up.
Started to get a lot more depth around that
So
time.
like somewhere like 200 issues in, or no, like 1,000 issues in, or so. I can't fucking remember. A lot of issues into the Amazing Spider-Man. Stanley quit basically,
Yeah.
or retired, or whatever he did, and then they rebooted him in the 80s, and then in the 90s he came back. They rebooted him again.
I'm sorry, my brain is fucking retarded. I thought you meant they rebooted Stan Lee. And I was just like,
Yeah.
No, that'll happen in 2053.
yeah. That,
Once they finish the prototype. And
that happened once
activate.
once they started making the movies, and he started getting in every movie and being like, "Look,
I
it's
will
me,
say it's-
Spider fans."
It is cool seeing the original stories. Like, for instance, there's that famous scene of Peter Parker throwing the spider suit away in the trash can.
Yes.
Like, I finally read that comic, and it is really cool because that's when Uncle Ben actually becomes relevant, because he's like, that's how he becomes Spider-Man again. He's like, no, I remember what my uncle said. With great responsibility, or with great power comes great responsibility. Which that was not in the first comic at all, which was
Really?
shocking. Yeah, is not even mentioned in the first comic.
Jesus.
It's a flashing pass. He's already Spider-Man. He's like in the very beginning, from the first issue till like a good few until he fights like Craven, I think. All Peter Parker is worried about being Spider-Man is fleecing JJ for some money so he can pay, so he can help his Aunt May make a living.
Is MJ hot yet?
She's not introduced until like
Gwen Stacy's the first.
no, it's Betty. And then it's Gwen, and then it's MJ. But MJ has
Betty's such a grandma name.
MJ
I'm just imagining
is
an old
introduced
woman.
like
1960s,
30 comics
bro.
in.
Really?
Yeah, which is funny because like Aunt May keeps like being like, "Oh, Peter, come over to Miss Jane's house and like meet her granddaughter. She'll really like you." And like for 30 issues, Peter's just fucking dodging his aunt, just like, "Nah, bitch, I got this bitch Betty at the newspaper sitting sucking my dick. No way, I'm gonna meet this MJ bitch." And then like he breaks up with Betty. She gets pissed off and goes with another dude. He's all depressed, and then he
kills his uncle.
He goes to his Aunt May, like his friend's house, and who's there? Fucking MJ, looking like a supermodel, being like, "Well, you just lucked out, Tiger."
In the door
Yes.
frame. I've
Yeah,
seen
it's
that.
super
I've seen
famous.
that panel.
And she's like, "You lucked out, Tiger."
Oh god.
It was a really cool scene, actually.
Did you wait? You got to that?
Yeah.
Okay, so she is hot. You could have just answered with MJ is already hot.
I don't want to
yes.
say they're hot because they're in high school.
I mean, how old are they?
They're in high school.
Yeah, but I mean, they 18.
Like I think they're about to just go to college, but I don't know.
So there's a chance. You're telling me there's a chance.
I wouldn't risk it.
There's a chance that this girl in this 80
this current timeline,
60-year-old comic might not be a minor. That you're keeping your
trying to
fingers
tell me
crossed,
that-
chomping at the bit, hoping that just maybe
Yeah,
this
what are you, a
animated
Catholic
character
priest?
is okay to fap to.
Were you a Catholic priest?
Welcome back, Spider fans. I put a hot 16-year-old girl in my comic book for all of you little boys.
Excalibur! What do you say?
Excelsior.
Excelsior!
But don't beat off to it. It's a crime.
This has been the AnythingCast. I'm Patrick.
I'm Eric.
And I'm Will. And now everyone say the Stan Lee line.
Excelsior!